Finally, Kasala don burst for INEC chairman and TINUBU. The British High Commissioner don't come out to spill the beans.
We're watching closely, along with other members of the international community, and those who incite violence or indeed act violently could be subject to a visa ban to our country. What didn't work well, and was a big disappointment to all of us, and most importantly to Nigerians, was what INEC had raised expectations, that as the results were being tabled at the local polling unit, they would be automatically visible to all of us, actually, to be able to track the results in real time, so transparently. Clearly the system failed, and there's no question. That was a massive disappointment.
Oh yes, this is just a tip of the iceberg. You've not had it all. You need to watch this video to the end and help me share it to every Nigerian out there. I keep saying it. You can bury the truth, but you cannot kill it, because eventually one day it must resurrect. That is exactly the case as the British High Commissioner that were playing hide and seek with Nigerians after receiving woto had come out to speak the truth, because he don't choke.
Other sort of challenges and interesting times, of course, I started just before the 2019 election and I finished after 2023. So I've seen some progress, a few setbacks, but overall what I would say, and this is one of my key sort of highlights from my time in Nigeria, Nigeria is the biggest, most important democracy in Africa, and for all its flaws and challenges, you are on that journey, and you should never take that for granted, because you're in a region where democracy is backsliding, and indeed globally. But Nigeria sends a bit of a beacon of hope, and I know a lot of people are disappointed with the process and with the outcome, but I would say hang on to that important fundamental that people in Nigeria, your vote does count. Look at the different electoral map. It looks completely different than it did in 2019. Democracy is a journey, it's not an event. We're watching closely, along with other members of the international community, and those who incite violence or indeed act violently could be subject to a visa ban to our country, or we have other instruments including our human rights legislation. So I can confirm we're gathering information at the moment. We obviously don't speak about individuals, and we will consider whether we want to exercise those visa bans. So and that is one of the tools. That's if you like, a negative tool, but the whole point of that is deterrence, to ensure that people reflect before they act in that way, because elections going well are so important for Nigeria. What didn't work well, and was a big disappointment to all of us, and most importantly to Nigerians, was what INEC had raised expectations, that as the results were being tabled at the local polling unit, they would be automatically visible to all of us, actually, to be able to track the results in real time, so transparently. Clearly the system failed, and there's no question. That was a massive disappointment. It also meant that it created space for people to be concerned that somebody's interfering with the system, somebody's hacked into the system. And I think one of the problems was that INEC didn't communicate quickly enough what the challenges were. And we spoke to the INEC chair about this, and he accepted that point, that they should have been able to communicate soon. But it was a failure, and I think it's been a big setback to INEC's credibility, frankly, and therefore people's confidence.
Hey! When I hear them, this is just an extract from what she said about the just concluded election that manufactured the INEC president-select in the name of TINUBU. From what she said so far, I disagree with her when she said that Nigerian electoral process or democracy had made a massive progress and a little setback. No, reverse is the case. It has made a little progress and massive setback, especially as APC had dragged the Nigerian democracy to the mud as it is today. Oh yes, with this election that just passed, it is clear that it is a sham. It is the greatest crime and a scam from a government. Now, one thing even bothers me a lot when these Oyibo people, especially British government, and Western countries, pose for Africa as though banning corrupt politicians from entering their country is enough punishment for those politicians. Why is it so important to African leaders to travel abroad to enjoy a well-organized system of government, whereas they are leeches upon their own people in the name of political leaders? Why is that so much a big deal to say, I will slam you with a visa ban and the rest of them? Do you know why? Because all these criminal politicians we are talking about have stolen so much wealth of the African people, in this case Nigerian people, and stash it abroad, buying properties and leave a whole lot of money in the banks. And when they ban them, you know, having access to those stolen wealth will become very painful. And that is why it is a big deal for them to say, oh, we are punishing them by banning them or giving them visa. You know, all of those shit. That is just the truth. You must understand that. And that is what I'm trying to make this video. Because to me, it amounts to nothing. Why will you be going to another man's land as if to say that is a safe haven? And the way they speak it, it's just like to them, Western world is the heaven on earth. Oh yes, they have made their homeland a better place. What of we? Why would they always play hide and seek when trying to foster people of questionable character as leaders in Africa? Because they need that in order to continue, you know, making their economy strong and alive. But that is a case of another day. Now to the election proper. Whether you are banning those who committed electoral violence and the rest of them, which we all know who they are. To the INEC chairman, whom this woman, the British High Commission, have also admitted from this video that the man, Mahmoud, admitted that the election was flawed.
And we spoke to the INEC chair about this, and he accepted that point, that, you know, they should have been able to communicate.
Yes, it was flawed because they went against their own rules. That is the truth. And this election is nothing but a huge disappointment, according to her. So, what are we talking about? This is the same person that came out the other time and asked Nigerians to accept this scam of an election as a way of progress. No, we can't accept that. That is why fella will always say, teacher, don't teach me nonsense. Yeah? Don't teach me nonsense. What is not obtainable in your own place, how do you expect us to accept it in our own place? So, if you're teaching people democracy, you must ensure that they imbibe in the spirit of democracy as it is obtainable in your own country. That is my position. And that's exactly what this woman is coming to, the reality of the truth. That, Kasala, go boss. There is about to be the biggest embarrassment. Maybe she's trying to see where this whole thing is heading to, and knew that eventually this APC scam will be a shit that will explode and rub in the faces of those that condone it, which she had in the past asked Nigerians to condone it. That means she's trying to do some kind of, you know, image laundering for herself and that of the British government. No problem. We are looking forward. But I tell you one thing, TINUBU will never be the president of this country. Write it down. Namitokam. It looks impossible, right? Oh yes. That is why you must understand the man, Peter Obi. And this will be another miracle for him, as he had always acknowledged. I'm signing out on this. Please help me share this video. Let Nigerians, especially obedient Nigerians, Mekuna no give up. Our victory is around the corner. And 29th of May will be a day to reckon with. I'm signing out. I'm just a voice, an advocate for good governance. Help me share this video. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think, or what do you make out from what this British High Commissioner just said? Drop it on the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not, to be part of this great community where we see it, we say it, where we are opening up the eyes of the people to see beyond their nose the impact of bad governance on their lives. Bye bye for now.